next President of the United States, Andrew Yang.
My favorite kind of people. You're the people who discover things early, but the Yang Gang's about to go mainstream. Amen! So we're standing here, shadow of the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, and this is the time, I came here for the first time, I was in 8th grade. How many of you all had a trip to DC in 8th grade? It was like one of the first times you were going anyplace overnight with your classmates, and you're all nervous, you were trying to find roommates. So just prove you had friends. And then they bring you here and you go to the Lincoln Memorial and it sinks in. Like even when you're young, you actually get it. You get the gravity of what the country went through and then the man who helped bring us back together. I brought my family here to the Lincoln Memorial just a couple of months ago for President's Day. My kids are only 6 and 3, so I don't think that they got it. But they definitely did not get it. But we get it. Am I right? Now, this country is going through major problems. Not like Civil War level problems, thank goodness, but serious problems nonetheless. Now, I am not a career politician, as most of you know. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a problem solver, and I'm here to solve the problem that many Americans have been struggling with for the past 2+ years, and the problem is this. Why is Donald Trump our president? Now, if you go to the mainstream media, you say, hey, how did Donald Trump win in 2016? What are the explanations that you get? Why do they say that he won? Russia is number 1. What else they got? Racism, that'd be number 2. Sexism. Facebook. Fake news. FBI. Like, these are the explanations that we're getting. When I looked at the numbers, the reason Donald Trump is our president, if you look at the numbers, I appreciate it. I love the math signs. I love the math. It's Make America Think Harder. Am I right? So if you look at the numbers, you see there's a straight line up between the adoption of industrial robots in a voting district and the movement to Donald Trump. The reason why he is our president today is that we automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs in Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Missouri, Iowa, all the swing states that he needed to win and did win. How many of you are from one of those states? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And now my friends in Silicon Valley know full well that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we're now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and on through the economy. I don't know if that deserves applause. I get excited, baby. Thank you, brother. How many of you all have noticed stores closing around where you live and work? And why are they closing? Amazon, that's right. Amazon's like a giant vacuum cleaner sucking up $20 billion in business every year. And stores could hang on for a while, but now 30% of American malls and Main Street stores are going to close in the next 4 years. Now, working as a retail cashier is the most common job in the United States. The average cashier is a 39-year-old woman making between $10 and $11 an hour. And what is that cashier going to do when her mall or store closes?
Oh, yeah! Learn to coach!
Vote for Andrew Yang, that's a possibility. How many of you saw the recent Google Google AI demo where they showed software that could handle customer service calls. You guys see that demo? Yeah. What do you think the time frame is on AI being able to outperform a call center worker? What do you guys think?
5 years.
Literally tomorrow is what he's telling here. Now, I know when you call a company and get their customer service bots, you react the exact same way I do, which is just to pound those keys until you get a human. You're like, human, shut up, human, zero, human. I do the same thing. But we're only 3 years or so away of not being able to tell the difference between a bot and a human. In a few years, the bot's going to pick up the phone and be like, hey, how are you doing? What can I do to help you? And you're like, oh, do this. You'd be like, sure, no problem. You'd be like, oh, that was delightful. So we're about 3 years away from that, but there are 2.5 million call center workers in the United States right now making $14 an hour. And when AI can outperform one of them, it can outperform tens, hundreds of thousands of them. Now, I talk a lot about truckers. Driving a truck is the most common job in 29 states in this country. There are 3.5 million truck drivers, 94% men, average age 49. So the person you think of as a truck driver, that's actually a truck driver. Now, my friends in Silicon Valley are working on trucks that can drive themselves, and they're doing it for the most American of reasons. They're doing it for the money.
Yeah.
Some people are screaming, yeah, money. I mean, I like money too. So there's $168 billion in financial incentives to try and automate away these 3.5 million truck driving jobs. Do you want to bet against $168 billion a year in financial incentives? They're getting hundreds of the smartest engineers in the country working on self-driving trucks. And they tell me that they're 5 to 10 years away. They're actually testing robot trucks in the Midwest right now. How do you think the truck drivers are going to take it when they start seeing robot trucks like passing them on the highways? There are dozens of truck drivers that recently protested in Indiana. They did something called a slow roll, which is they just drove their trucks slowly while in a highway, and then the drivers behind them were like, what the heck is going on? Why are these trucks going so slow? Now, what were they protesting? They were protesting the digital monitoring of their driving time. They didn't like the fact that they were being digitally monitored, because right now there's a 14-hour restriction on driving a truck. After 14 hours, you have to turn the truck off, and the truck starts getting mad at you. Now, how are they going to react when they're competing against robot trucks that never need to stop? I have a feeling that they're going to take it very, very poorly, and only 13% of truckers are unionized today. So we're talking about very, very dramatic transformations in our economy. And I came here to Washington, D.C. in 2017 after Donald Trump won, and I said, what are we going to do about the fact that we're in the midst of this fundamental transformation that's brought us Donald Trump? This is called the fourth. This is before I was running, so they couldn't have said vote Yang. So I love that. That's a beautiful message. That's what you all are going to say. So I came to this town, Washington, D.C., and I said, what are we going to do? And what do you all think the responses I got here in D.C. were when I said,
Boston prayers.
shut them out, go ahead. So the responses I got from Washington, D.C. were these. Number one, we cannot talk about that. Boo. Number two, we should study that further. And number three, we must educate and retrain all Americans for the jobs of the future. So that one, you're like, wow, that sounds pretty reasonable. But again, I looked at the numbers. What do you all think the success rate was for federally funded retraining programs to the manufacturing workers in the West? It was 0 to 15%. That stuff does not work. And so then I said, hey guys, I did the math and we're terrible at retraining. They actually said to me, well, I guess we'll somehow get better at it. That's a Washington, D.C. solution to a problem. I guess we'll get better. And there was one meeting I had, and I had a staffer with me, I had a colleague with me, and I thank God for it, because if I told you this and he wasn't there to verify it, you'd be like, no way that happened, but it happened. He said to me, this official said to me, Andrew, you are in the wrong town. No one in this town is going to do anything about the problems that you described, because this town is a town of followers, not leaders. And the only way for us to do something about it is if you bring a wave crashing down on our heads. And that's the only way we'll wake up.
Oh, it's coming!
And I looked at that and I didn't say this, but I thought these two words, challenge accepted. So now I'm running for president. How many of you saw that I'm polling at 3%? That's right, and those people have still never heard of Andrew Yang. When they find out about me, oh my gosh. We're going to keep on climbing. The internet has me as 5th most likely to win the nomination, and we know the internet is very, very smart. So why is that? I'm proposing, as you heard, I'm proposing the freedom dividend, which is $1,000 a month for every American adult. Now, the first time you heard of that, what you thought was these three things. There's an Asian man running for president who wants to give everyone $1,000 a month. And all those three things are true. But at first, when you heard them, you were like, this literally sounds fantastic. This sounds too good to be true. This almost sounds like a gimmick. But then when you look into our history, you realize this idea has been with us since the founding of this country. Thomas Paine was for it. At the founding, he called it the citizen's dividend. Martin Luther King, whose birthday we celebrate every year, was for it. He called it the guaranteed minimum income, and he championed it in the year 1967, the year before he was assassinated.
Google Henry George!
Milton Friedman and 1,000 economists signed a study saying this would be tremendous for America. Well, Milton Friedman gets some applause. That's the Yankee for you. It was so mainstream that it passed the U.S. House of Representatives twice in 1971. And then 11 years later, one state adopted a dividend where now everyone in that state gets between $1,000 and $2,000 a year, no questions asked. And what state is that? Alaska! And how do they fund it? Oil! And what is the oil of the 21st century? Technology! Technology, that's right. What they're doing for Alaska with oil money, we can do for everyone here and everyone around the country with technology money.
Yeah, we can!
Call it the oil check, and they love it, and we're going to call this the tech check. And with $1,000 a month, and I want you to think, what would you all do with $1,000 a month? Where would that money go? It would go to college for a lot of the young people here. We're going to get the cost of college down. Pay off the debts, credit card bills, but it would stay in your local communities. You would end up spending it on food, bills, health care, the occasional night out, and a lot of that would circulate over and over again in the towns and neighborhoods you live in. This is the trickle-up economy, from people, families, and communities up. This is the freedom dividend. It will make us stronger, healthier, mentally healthier. And I will say, if the Democratic Party is going to talk about empowering women, we all know that there are millions of women around the country that are in abusive or exploitative jobs or relationships because they lack the economic freedom to walk away. And $1,000 a month would help that a great deal. Am I right? We can either talk about empowering women or we can do something about it. And I choose to do something about it. So this is the freedom dividend. This is how we can build an economy that works for us. And there is nothing stopping the majority of citizens of a democracy in declaring ourselves a dividend. Nothing at all.
Woo!
We just need to wake up to that power that we have as Americans. And you all are going to help us wake up the rest of the country, and I thank you for that. But we can't stop there. The second thing is we have to get healthcare off of your backs. Now, looking at you all, you're young, you're beautiful, a lot of you are in perfect health. You don't understand where it's going to go, where healthcare right now is this massive weight on millions of families and individuals, where if you get sick or injured, you're more stressed out about navigating our crazy labyrinth of a healthcare system than you are actually getting healthy. or getting well. And that's messed up, that's immoral, and we can change it. We can move towards a public option to make it so that if you get sick or injured in the richest and most advanced country in the world, you will not have to worry about your bills. I know that sounds too good to be true, but I've looked at the numbers. We spend 18% of our GDP to worse results than other countries. And so whenever anyone's looking around being like, how are you going to pay for it? How are you going to pay for it? Are you kidding me? Like, I've run companies, and I'll tell you, we're spending a ton of money on health insurance. Because like when you're running a company, it's a disincentive to hire someone. It's a disincentive to change jobs. It's a disincentive to start a business. How many of you have wanted to change jobs or start a business, but then you were like, what am I going to do on my health care? How many of you have that experience? Right here. Yeah, this is going to unleash the dynamism of the entrepreneurs of the American people to get health care off of our backs.
Yay!
And the third thing, I'd like to ask this question. How many of you get excited about GDP when you wake up in the morning? When I talk about my wife, who's at home with our 2 young boys, one of whom is autistic, what is her work value at in GDP every day? Zero. What is the market value of her work at? Zero. And we know that's nonsense. We know the work that she's doing is more important, more vital, more challenging than a lot of the other work that's being done in our country. So we're going to follow GDP right now off a cliff because self-driving trucks are going to be great for GDP, but they're going to be terrible for a lot of people. So how do we shift to an economy that we'd actually be excited about? We have to change the measurements. So instead of GDP, this phantom number that we made up almost 100 years ago, and even the inventor of GDP said 3 things. He said, 1, this is a terrible measurement for national well-being and we should never use it as that. Number 2, he said, we should include parenthood because it's so important. And number 3, we should not include national defense spending because it has no economic value. Now we ignore all of those things and we worship this GDP number that he made up almost 100 years ago. So instead of GDP, what should we be focusing on? How about our own health and mental health? How about how clean our air and water are? How about average income and affordability? So these are the problems of this era. GDP is at a record high. Meanwhile, our life expectancy has actually gotten shorter for the past 3 years. And our life expectancy has gotten shorter because drug overdoses and suicides have overtaken vehicle deaths as cause of death in this country for the first time in our history. You know the last time our life expectancy declined 3 years in a row?
Great Depression.
The Great Flu Pandemic of 1918, the Spanish flu. That's the last time our life expectancy declined for 3 years in a row. And yet we're celebrating this GDP that means nothing to us while our people are dying earlier. So we have to shift the measurements to something that will actually reflect how we're doing. And as president, I'm going to reflect on these numbers. I'm going to present them every year at the State of the Union. I'm going to have a PowerPoint deck. I'm going to be the first person to use PowerPoint. That's right. You're going to actually get something out of the State of the Union instead of these bizarre theater performances we're subject to every year. And clap and not clap. Like, what is this? It's so weird. Numbers, that's right. I'll show the numbers. So this is how we can advance to the next stage of our economy. You know, people are looking. The number 1 criteria for Democrats right now in a presidential candidate is who can beat Donald Trump. Woo! Yeah. We all know here in the Yang Gang that our campaign is already getting former Trump supporters, independents, Republicans, Libertarians, Democrats, and progressives. We're going to build a coalition that's going to sweep the floor, mop the floor with Donald Trump. Am I right? Now, Donald Trump is our president today because he got a lot of the fundamental problems right. He did. You have to say, when he was going around saying, hey, things are not great, and then the counter was, things actually are great, like that was not the right response. There are real problems on the ground, And he got that much right, but unfortunately his solutions are the opposite of what we need. His solutions are that we have to turn the clock back, we have to build a wall, we have to try and time only moves in one direction. I want to do the opposite of Donald Trump. I want to accelerate our economy and society. I want to prepare us for the true challenges of the 21st century, and I'm the right man for the job because
Be careful, guys.
My phone's dead.
Where's Lopez? No, God, gotta go back. You gotta go back. No, sir. You gotta go back. You can't come up here yet. You got the people up here. I'm asking you to go back. I'm asking you to go down the steps. Okay, great pitch. Thank you. Step down for me.
Going around. Yeah, we're gonna pull you into the hot box. All right, guys. All right. Thank you.
Got a guy behind me.
Thank you.
Andrew, please. Please, Andrew. We are.
Okay, so what do you want us to do? We'll just pull it.
I'm concerned that that might be.
Yang, do you like Elon Musk?
You're gonna sign and walk, but I love you. Not really safe.
Yeah, we're Antonio. This way.
Give my guy to follow. We'll follow your lead.
Well, I got
Here.
you got a guy coming up from behind back.
I got him. Yeah.
Okay.
Get him to the car, and then I'll handle. I'll talk to Maddie.
Go get him, AJ. Get him.
I think you're good. I'm a wall. That's fantastic. Give me your phone. I got 1%. I'll remove.
Watch out for the kid.
Watch out for the 6-year-old.
Okay.
I got it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so cool.
I got a 6-year-old.
I really do need to
Can I have a picture with you?
I gotta go.
We love the Yang Gang. This is just a herd moving.
Here's what I'm thinking too, Maddie. Let's get him to the car and coordinate a press stop. And we'll make it happen. Okay, we'll ram back maybe, but we just gotta get him like a forest shot and people to dissipate. Here, you know what? Let's go.
Let's go, Matt. Let's go, Matt.
Okay. Oh my God. Emily cheating.
Thanks, Andrew. Thank you. You're doing great. Thanks for coming out, Andrew. Good, 2020.
Got him. Recognize the Armenian genocide?
What about?
So we're writing about small donor districts and how Democrats are so excited about them and we're always bragging about it. Can you kind of tell me what the importance for them are for you?
Oh yeah, sure thing. Well, it shows that there are a lot of people that are donating out of their own pocket that aren't big donors that are used to donating like hundreds of dollars. And also the reason it's so exciting is that it means that if people stay excited about you, then you have a sustainable base of financial support that can grow over time.
Guys,
Whereas if someone gives
I need everybody to move out the way.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Excuse me. I need a hold.
Andrew, are we going to reorient our national defense?
Start the way, please.
The old model of nuclear weapons, are we going to turn it to
Hang on.
technology? Andrew,
yeah, I'd
all of
certainly
my
like to
vote will
try
run a parallel election on a blockchain. You should beforehand.
I'd certainly like to modernize our defense military.
Excuse me, guys.
Okay. Support. So we're going to modernize the defense spending. Okay. So we're specifically going to look into
Thank you guys.
Okay, thank you very much. Blockchain's integration for parallel elections.
Oh, you walked away. How you good?
Yeah, no.
Appreciate it.